So hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with the one and only Paddy McCorry. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, bro. How are you?
I'm alright. So we'll just get straight into it, mate. What got you into fighting whenever you were younger?
Uh, I started boxing when I was a kid because I just think everyone from where we live in West Belfast tries boxing at some point in their life. So it was just natural progression to start boxing when I was a kid. I tried to join a gym called Clanner Boxing Club because a few of my mates were at it. And when I went down, it was too late. It started at like 6 o'clock and we went down at like 6:15, so we were too late. So we went round the corner to a gym called St. John Bosco, which started at like 6:30. And I went round and trained there under John Conlon for a few years. So I trained there till I was about 14, 15, and then I left boxing and wasn't really doing anything for a few years. And then I went to a track session just for a wee run, like with Connor Quinn, and his big brother was training a few pro MMA fighters at the time, like Joe McCogan and stuff.
Yeah.
So he asked me would I come down and do a bit of boxing sparring with the pro MMA fighters. I said, yeah, no problem. So I went down and boxing sparred a few of the MMA fighters, and Donald was saying to me, you need to be fighting, like you need to be doing something. And I agreed with him, but I didn't have any interest in boxing. The training seemed very repetitive to me. And I got very bored easily when I was training boxing. So I told him that I didn't really fancy boxing again. So he suggested that I came up here and tried MMA and Fight Academy. So that's what I did. And from my first class, I've been hooked.
And I know you had a good amateur career. Do you think that sort of made your decision to become a professional even easier?
Yeah, definitely will. I always wanted to, as soon as I started training MMA, I knew I wanted to turn pro. Like, it takes too much from this game just to be like half doing it, kind of, you know what I mean? You have to be either all in or all out. So I knew from the start that I was all in and I wanted to turn pro, because when I started up here, there wasn't much amateurs. It was basically a pro team. You know, it was like Joe McCogan, Big Carl, Kyle McClurkin, like they're all pros who I was training with at the start. Like when I knew no grappling at all, I was in sparring all them boys because I had a wee bit of boxing. So I knew where they were is where I wanted to be. And I knew I was in the right place if I wanted to get to that level. So just kept chipping away, and here we are.
Yeah. And you've won your pro debut by TKO. And also on your pro debut, you
had the middle. And moving back up again.
And then it was for the vacant middleweight championship, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the case conflict middleweight belt, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think putting that championship on the line just shows your quality in your pro debut.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Getting that opportunity was massive for me, because my last amateur fight was about 2 years before then, and I fought in front of about 20 people probably in the Europa. I was for the Akuma welterweight belt at amateur, and then after that I went travelling for a wee bit. I went around Thailand and Australia, and then when I came back, I was just training through lockdowns twice a day, every day, because there was fuck all else to do. And just getting people ready for the fights that were still happening through lockdown, you know, the Cage Warriors fights and stuff. So once we came out of the lockdowns and I heard that the Feile was happening, I was absolutely loving it to get that opportunity, and then ended up being main event. So it was perfect. I just couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah, and just as you said there about Cage Warriors, once they got a hold of you to fight Jordan O'Neill, how did that feel for you? Must have been amazing.
Yeah, it's class, mate. That was the goal. Like, Cage Warriors has always been the goal. It's the most common route to the UFC if you're from Ireland or the UK or Europe. Like, Cage Warriors is the place to be if you want to be making it to the UFC. So it was always my goal, and especially seeing these two cunts on the wall. How do I turn this around? You know what I mean? That's where you want to be there, on that wall, world champion. That's the goal there. Like, so being around Emmons, it was always the goal to be fighting in them yellow gloves. So when that call came, especially with being in the SSE, I was absolutely over the moon. Like, it was a dream come true, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
Yeah, and what were your thoughts as soon as you heard the news about Jordan O'Neill being injured, pulling out of the fight?
It's fucking terrible, man. It was very, very bad news. Like, I kind of expected, like, all my team, we were all saying that he was going to pull out. But when it got to the 10-day mark, I was like, fuck, he may actually take us here. And then, like, on the 9th day, he pulled out. I was like, no, it was just when I was starting to believe that he was going to fight, he pulled out.
Yeah, and that night as well, Rhys McKee fighting to win the belt. What a night. The atmosphere was incredible.
Unbelievable, man. McKee is an absolute dog, man. He's class, absolutely amazing. Reece McKee is one of the best fighters that I've ever shared a cage with. Like his work rate and pace and how accurate he is, it's unbelievable. Like Reece is going to go on a tear whenever he gets back into the UFC here. Like he just done everything perfect. He took the right time out he needed. He fixed the holes in his game, or weaknesses, should I say. They weren't really holes, like, but he fixed the areas that he needed to work on, and now he's just a different level. Like he is a world champion fighter. He is an elite athlete. Like
Yeah, good. And personally, I actually think that he should be in the UFC. What he's saying.
100%. No one can watch that last fight and say that Reece McKee doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. Like he answered every single question that you could have of someone. That fight was unbelievable. It was one of the best MMA fights I've ever seen, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. He blew the roof off the place, and I knew he was going to blow the roof off the place. I know Justin Burlinson is absolutely no mug. He is class. But I was telling everyone, all of my mates, that Reece is going to finish this guy, because I knew they were both going to hit each other, and I just knew that he wouldn't put Reece away. Like Reece is so tough, mate, and he hits like fuck. Like it's very surprising, because if you look at his frame, he doesn't look like someone who would hit hard, but Reece hits like fuck, mate. It's so deceiving.
And what is there anything here you can say about what's next for you? Surely it has to be Cage Warriors again.
Yeah. I was just saying the fucking multi-fight deal with Cage Warriors there. You know, like 5-fight contract. Like so it was a decision that we had to make, because there was a couple of promotions, you know, like trying to sign me at the time, like Brave and PFL were going to sign me. And but I just picked Cage Warriors because obviously it's the road to the UFC. You know what I mean? I'm in this game to be in the UFC. There's nothing else. Like 2 seconds, bro. Yeah. I probably could have like tried to cash in early and go to other promotions and try and get more money and all, but it's not like a proven route to the UFC as Cage Warriors in, you know what I mean? And I like the look of the Cage Warriors middleweight division at the minute. I think I can bring a wee bit of sauce to that division, fucking go on a run fat belt, you know what I mean? So yeah, just signed a 5-fight deal with Emmons, and I'm planning on getting very busy over the next 18 months here with him.
Yeah, and I've no doubt we'll see you on that wall soon, mate, with a belt.
You better believe it. Get on that wall, die trying.
100%. Thank you very much, Paddy, for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Peace out. Good luck. Bye.